Hi class, I hope everybody is doing well and coping inside here and getting by with the restrictions you have. I hope everybody's had an opportunity to look at all the videos that I've sent so far. I've got 2 or 3 more. I'll probably extend it out to 3 more videos. I do today want to talk about chipping and also just other short game and how you can practice inside if you're restricted to being inside. We are going to talk a little bit today about what different clubs that you use around the green, okay? And this is probably a little bit different, especially for the people that have played a lot of golf. They tend to use one club around the green. What I'm trying to teach here in this class is that you're going to use multiple clubs around the greens and for different reasons, okay? And the main reason that you would change a club or change a loft in a club as far as a chip shot goes is how much distance you have on the green to get to the pin. So let's just say I'm off the green by 5 feet, but I've got 30 feet of green to work with to get to the pin. Then what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use a less lofted club and try to chip that ball and let that ball roll over to the hole. So a couple key things that you want to do when you're chipping, okay? And key things that you want to think about. The first thing is that you want to make sure you get the ball rolling as quick as possible. That's the key, okay? You're not trying to fly a ball onto the middle of the green and try and get it to stop. You're trying to get the ball rolling as quick as possible, okay? So then you figure out what club in my bag can I hit, advance the ball over the grass onto the putting surface because that is the most consistent surface that you have on a golf course, and let it roll out to the hole. So club selection can vary. It can be a 6-iron to a 60-degree sandwich, okay? It varies with ability and it varies with the type of shot that you have. Okay, so we will talk a little bit about the clubs itself. You're going to have several different wedges in your bag, and I had some good questions asked. As far as the interaction I've had with some of the students asking questions about the wedges. And in explaining this, you have maybe 3 different wedges in your bag. With an experienced golfer, you might have a 60-degree, you might have a 56, a 52, and a 48. And all those wedges are used in different type of shots. But the key thing you got to realize is that the more lofted it is, the higher the ball goes, okay? And the higher the ball goes, that means it's coming down, descending directly down when it hits the green. That means it should not roll out very, very much once it hits the green. As you go down, say the 48, it's going to have a lower loft on it, and it's going to hit, and it's going to roll out. So with all these clubs, you have to practice to be able to get a feel for what the club does based on your swing, okay? So these are the things that you have to realize is that no matter what clubs you do choose, you got to practice with them in order to be able to get the feel for the particular shot that you're looking for. Now, again, as a rule of thumb, what we're trying to do here when we're chipping is make sure that we get the ball rolling as quick as possible. And let me back up a little bit. For those of you that are beginners, chipping is a shot that you have around the green that's a short shot. Usually probably anywhere from 5 feet off the green to maybe 10 yards off the green. That's considered a chip shot, okay? We'll talk about the pitch shot in the next class, but maybe at the end of this class, end of this video, I'll try and just talk about it a little bit. But the chip shot is just, all you're trying to do is advance the higher grass, land on the short grass surface of the putting green, and let it roll out to the hole. So that is a chip shot, okay? So, in talking about the chip shot, I am going to go back to what we talked about in putting. I'm sure everybody remembers the 4 basic fundamentals that we have in putting, okay? We have our eyes over the ball, our hands where they naturally fall, a little pressure on the inside left thigh from our right-handers, and no breakdown in the wrist. Okay, all we're doing is using our shoulders. I had a good question asked about why do we use our shoulders and not our hands. You can develop a much better feel from your shoulders. The more you use your hands, your right hand tends to take over. Your stronger hand will take over in this shot. Okay, the more you can have your shoulders working, you can get better rhythm. okay? The more you use your hands, they have quicker, your muscles are quicker, you can get handsier, and results are not as good or not as consistent as you would by developing a stroke with your shoulders. So, those 4 basic fundamentals apply also to chipping, okay? So, when I'm setting up the chip, okay, I do something a little different though. And I don't know if anybody can notice my feet, but I've opened my stance. And the reason I've opened my stance here is I want the club to come straight back and straight through. This is really important because what you're trying to do is develop a chip shot that has very little arc in the swing. And if you have very little arc and the club is coming straight back, straight through, the ball's going to go straight. So it's just a matter of lining up properly in order to get the ball to go to on the right line. So if you see me from this angle, okay, if I just take a normal stance, you're going to see my club come inside. If I turn my body, you're going to see the club come straight back. Okay, so think about this when you're chipping, okay, and think about this when you're hitting pitch shots also. So look at the basic fundamentals of chipping. My eyes are over the ball, my hands are where they naturally fall, my weight is on the inside left thigh, and there's very little breakdown or none in my shot here. And all I'm trying to do, with no spin on the ball, I'm trying to advance that ball onto the green and let it roll up to the hole. Okay? So, we've gone from basics of putting to basics of chipping are identical. Okay? There's not a lot of difference except for our stance. We open up our stance so we get the club to come straight back. Now, I open mine a lot. Might have a taller person that is over the ball already, might have the club coming straight back, almost being in a square stance. Everybody's different with this, okay? But the key is we want that club coming straight back, okay? So we want very little arc in the shot. We want to keep our weight on that front foot, and we want to keep our wrist angle, make sure it impacted when we're hitting this ball, it continues through, we're accelerating through, and the ball comes out low, hits the green, and rolls through, okay? Very simple. Now, same things that you did putting. You need to know how far you are away from the hole. You need to know what spot of the green you're going to land this ball on, okay? You need to look at the break. You need to look at the extended hole. So all those things should be going through your head as you're walking up the fairway to the chip shot. Does this break? Does this, does the ball go away from you at back of the hole? These things need to run through your head before you execute these shots, all right? Now, I will say this, to become a good chipper, you have to practice. All right? This is something that, we've talked about putting, it's 40% of the game. If you get inside 100 yards, and it is 50, 60% of your game, okay? So you have to really work on this short game in order to develop feel to become good at it. It doesn't take a lot of physical ability. It really takes a lot of time and effort to become good at it. Now, I will talk a little bit about a pitch shot, since we have a good angle here. Normally, just so you know, I'd be out on the putting green. If I do the videos at night, it's great. If I do the videos during the day, like I'm doing right now, because we had some bad weather early in the week when I normally do it, it's really difficult to get the right lighting. So I'm inside doing this shot, if you're wondering why. Anyways, so we're on to our pitch shot. I set up pretty much the same way as I do in the chip shot, okay? And I take the club back and I have a slight hinge here, okay? Now, in this pitch shot, okay, I do everything the exact same as I do in chipping. I keep my eyes over the ball, my hands where they naturally fall. I keep my pressure on the front foot. I do not shift my weight at all. I keep the pressure there. The only thing different is I have a little hinge in my hands. Now, you're going to say, well, if I got a different type of a pitch shot, what's a pitch shot? A pitch shot's a shot that you're trying to advance onto the green the same way you do the chip shot, but you have to take the club back farther to get it there because you're farther away from the hole. So a pitch shot could be is a 20-yard shot, a 30-yard shot, a 40-yard shot. It could be, for a very strong player, it could be 50, 60. So how you determine on these pitch shots how far you take the club back is basically, again, it's back to practice, but you have to practice this, and you're going to say to yourself, okay, so when I'm taking this club back, all right, I get my hands in what position, and I hinge my hands. What position do my hands need to be to generate, say, a 30-yard shot? So I set up a 30-yard shot, and I take my hands back, hinge, Was that far enough? Did I take a club back far enough? You have to figure out where your hands go and then hinge to be able to figure out how far the ball goes. Now, the way you can do it here is look at me as a clock. 12 o'clock, I've got 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock here. So if I take my hands to 7 o'clock and hinge right here, okay, how far does the ball go? Do I take it to 9 o'clock and hinge? How far does the ball go? Do I take it to 10 o'clock and hinge? How far does the ball go? So that's how you're going to get a feel, all right? The rhythm is the same for every swing, okay? And this is how you get distance control. You have to have that same rhythm. The only thing you're doing is creating leverage by bringing the club back farther. And the farther you bring the club back, obviously you got more leverage with it, okay? So, recapping and chipping. All I'm trying to do is advance the ball in the green and let it roll out to the hole. Very little breakdown in the wrist, if none, okay? Eyes over the ball, hands where they naturally fall, pressure's on the front foot, and all I'm doing is moving my shoulders again, okay? Nothing else is moving, just my shoulders, okay? Pitch shot, I'm doing the same thing. Might have a little wider stance, get a little more stability, but all I'm doing is hinging my hands, okay? Very simple. Now, I will go through this again on the next video of pitch shots and talk about it. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it outside and have Jack demonstrate a few shots while I'm talking. We usually have little contests at this time in the class. Unfortunately, we can't do that, but we have a little fun with it with chip shots and putting and pitch shots. We have nets here to try to hit the ball in, but unfortunately, again, we're confined to these videos and at home. Now, I am going to give you a little tip. Now, you can go out in your backyard if you have an area where you can chip, take a couple balls. You can just use your club to chip. Set up a bucket or something. Try to land it in the bucket. That's good practice. I'll give you another idea here. I've got a chair here. And what you can do at home is you can sit and you can actually take balls and try to chip them into the chair. And all it does is give you a little feel. And, it's an easy way without hopefully breaking anything, but you can hit it into the back of the chair on the inside, okay? I wouldn't want a beginner to do that, but anybody that's looking for something to do as far as chipping goes and that plays a little golf, has their own clubs, has some balls, that's a good way to get a little feel inside. I tell my northern players, anybody that grew up north, I'm from Canada, this is what I used to do in the wintertime when I was bored. You'd be hitting different shots in the chairs and stuff like that. Probably missed a couple times, took a little drywall out, but, so be it. But we definitely up north, people know how to improvise and be able to get a little practice in because of the snow. Hopefully everybody enjoyed this video. I know it's a little late, and I do apologize on that. We just had some weather issues at the first of the week. I normally do these on Monday. Expect hopefully Monday or Tuesday, if the weather's good, that I'll be submitting another video. Hope everybody has a great weekend.